I'm Sarah Kuhn. I write a blog called INFJ Woman, and I host a podcast called The Quiet Ones. I'm on a mission to help you become the best version of yourself, to be wholly and unapologetically you, to be you. Every week on my Instagram stories, I take questions about INFJs or self-acceptance, self-love, anything that you want to ask me a question about. In this video, you're going to see a collection of random questions that are the best ones from this week. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me, you can submit it through the comments below this video, and I will answer it in a future video and link the video back to you so that you can see it. I struggle to be kind to myself as well, and what I had to do was decide that I'm just as important as everybody else, and start with compassion and with grace. And think about how you would treat your friend, and that's how you treat yourself. Focus forward. That's the best thing that you can do. Make a new plan, set a new goal, dream a new dream. Think about something that you want to do and start focusing on it. Put all of your attention on the new thing, on the future, rather than on the past. It depends on the INFJ. We're all different. Even though we are very similar, we're all different because we all grew up in different places with different influences. And we like different things. If it was me, anything that has to do with New Kids on the Block would work. Yes, INFJs have a tendency to be controlling. We don't like to admit it, but it's true. In part of my interview with Lauren Sapala, we talked about it and she explained it really well. So you can swipe up to watch part of that interview. The best ways that I like to recharge are spending time alone, whether that's alone in my room or going for a walk by myself. And any kind of self-care like taking a hot bath, reading a book, having your hair done, anything like that. You have a choice about your past. You can stay there and stay stuck in it and let it haunt you for the rest of your life, or you can choose to move on. And it's not an easy choice, but it is possible. You can make that decision and say, I'm going to focus forward and move on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of my followers. Hi there. I don't think it's detrimental. I just think that we need to figure out how to find it. A lot of us didn't grow up with it. So I wrote this thing about perfectionism that helps. You can swipe up to read it. I don't know. I think it's one of those INFJ things where we know that we can do a lot better, so we just keep pushing ourselves to do better and do better and do better. And we have that feeling that we can change the world, so we want to. I think that's part of it. I don't know. I haven't experienced that with my friends. I'm certainly not that way, and I have quite a few INFJ friends, and they're not that way either. So maybe the INFJ in your life is narcissistic. Maybe they're not an INFJ. I don't know. It's probably just that person. Ooh, that's got to be really, really difficult. I can't say that I've ever had an impromptu guest in my house. So I would say patience and try to take some time for yourself and self-care, because I know that's going to be difficult. Thank you. There's lots of love in these questions today, so I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to learn more about the INFJ personality type, make sure that you sign up for my weekly email newsletter. There's a link for it in the video description. You're certainly welcome. I'm so glad that I could help. I've never moved to a new country, but I have moved across the country by myself a couple of times, and it is scary, but it's also incredibly exciting. So I would encourage you to embrace the journey and look for the excitement. It'll be fun. I don't know if being paranoid is common. It's definitely common to worry and to have anxiety. A lot of us have anxiety. But it depends on how you fix that, how you work on that, how you work through it. The best way that you can deal with overthinking is to take action. Instead of thinking about something, take action immediately, right away. Even if you don't know what to do, even if you know that you're doing the wrong thing, as long as you're taking action, it's going to move you towards the right thing. There probably is a reason, and maybe you just don't know what it is, or maybe you are running away from it. So I would suggest that you spend some time alone, spend some time journaling, and really diving into what it is that's making you anxious. You need to spend some more time in self-care. Yes, all INFJs get that way. It's called being burned out because you're trying to do too much. So spend some more alone time, spend some time in self-care, do anything that makes you feel good. There is definitely a lot going on this year, and what I do is try to stay as far away from the news as possible. I find a reputable news source where I can just consume just a little bit of it and then stay away from the rest of it. When I get lonely, I have two ways of dealing with it. I either reach out to one of my friends, I have a bunch of Facebook friends, or I will focus on a new project of something new that I want to do. So either one of those works really well for me. I do sometimes, but when I get that feeling, I tend to stay away from those people. I tend to distance myself from them because I don't need that in my life, and I understand that I deserve better than that. I like people who are reciprocal. Well, the best thing that you can do is try to get away from them. And if you can't leave completely, then try not to spend as much time around them. And then find something that inspires you. Find someone, an author or a video or something that inspires you. Sure, absolutely. I've heard of a lot of INFJs who are psychiatrists or psychologists. INFJs are natural counselors, so that works out really, really well. As long as you feel like that's your purpose, that's a great option. To use those skills, do you mean like your intuition, like reading people and things like that? The best thing that you can do for that is to just start using them, because the more that you use them, the stronger that they'll get. Yes, that's very common for INFJs. That's why they call us the counselor, because people that we don't even know tend to open up to us. A lot of people say we give really, really good advice. So that's why they open up to us. I know that there are some who claim to be psychic. I don't claim to be psychic. My intuition is very strong, but it's not like fortune telling. It's more like recognizing patterns and just knowing something's going to happen based on what has happened. Ooh, I know exactly what you're going through. That was the hardest part for me, is putting myself out there, especially being on video. That's one of the reasons that I'm doing my course that's called Blog School, so that I can help people learn how to do that, because it's not that difficult. It's not difficult, but it is scary. It just takes practice. It takes repetition. And I've also found that if you do it in a certain way, if you take certain steps, that it's easier to do. So I would love to chat with you about it too. I do individual coaching if you're interested in that. There's a link. If you swipe up, you can schedule a session. It really depends on the person. A lot of times I can tell right away whether or not I'm going to like somebody. And that's not prejudging, that's just like intuition. So if I like them, then sure, I'm open to flirting with them, especially if they understand my sense of humor. I don't like people who tell me to smile, mostly because I don't like being told what to do, but also because I don't think that I should have to smile just to make you feel better. I don't think that should be a thing. The best way that you can show love to somebody is understanding, especially when you can understand their personality type and their love language. Even if it's not romantic love, people still have different love languages, how they feel loved and how they show love. So if you can understand that, the best thing that you can do when you're struggling with addiction is to reach out to a professional for help. It's really hard for me to give you specific advice when I don't know what kind of addiction that you're struggling with, but definitely talk to a counselor. So the difference between the N and the F, if you are an intuitive type, you are focused on the future, you like to dream about the future and think about the future, and you have a strong intuition, so you just know things. If you're sensing, you like to be more in the present. Of course it is. You can have a meaningful life having an ordinary life. You don't have to be something big and extraordinary to have meaning in your life. You don't have to touch 1 million people to have meaning. You can touch just one. Sure, we can be anything that we want to be. We should not let our personality type hold us back, because it's not meant to define your life. It's meant to help you understand yourself better. But yeah, you can be anything that you want to be. Yes, absolutely. An INFJ can be anything that we want to be. Please do not let your personality type hold you back. You can be whatever you want to be. In fact, I've heard that Beyonce is an introvert, that her stage persona is like an alter ego. Thank you. Thanks for the love. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that I'm able to help you. That means so much to me. That's why I started my account. I thought if I could just help one person, then it would be worth it. So I'm glad to hear it. It's pretty common for me. And I think a lot of it comes from our being able to look at what's going to happen in the future. We've already been through what we think is going to happen in our head, and so then when it actually does happen, it feels like deja vu. I started this account in December of 2018. I was bored over my Christmas vacation, and I knew that information about INFJs, about my personality type, had helped me, and I wanted to help other people. So that's why I started it. Don't listen to them. In fact, the people who tell you that you can't do it, you need to stop talking to them and get away from them. You need to find people who are encouraging and who believe in you, and surround yourself with those people, because that's what you need. The best thing that you can do is learn from your mistakes and focus forward, because you can't change the past. I've dealt with trauma in the past as well, and you can't change it. If you stay there, you just keep reliving it over and over and over again. So focus forward. I would start with trying to understand his personality more, trying to understand his communication style. Maybe he is communicating and it's just not the same way that you communicate, and so it feels like he's not at all. So that's where I'd start. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you check out these other amazing videos that I have that are all about INFJs, INFJ traits, the INFJ personality, everything that you want to know about INFJs. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well so that you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching again, and we will see you again soon.